And now, Jabroni Studios, in association with Big Herm Productions, is proud to present to you, recording from an undisclosed location in Oakdale, Connecticut. It's Chris Burns. It's Chris Lynch. This is Dysfunction Junction.
Welcome back to the award-winning podcast that has not won a damn thing ever in the history of ever. Strap in, kids. You're going to have fun this week as I say welcome to Dysfunction Junction.
Fuck yeah.
Fuck yeah.
I'm Chris Burns. To the right of me on the screen is my esteemed co-host,
Hey, Dribbling Lynch.
Dribblin' Lynch. And, of course, from the main office in Poopo, Colorado, we welcome Michael, P.S., Big Herm. Herman, how's everybody doing this week, bro?
Everybody, yeah, I'm doing all right. Doing on good. Yeah,
I don't know.
Good.
This is a shitty weekend.
I had a shitty day today.
That sucks. Tell about your shitty day.
Oh, so wake up this morning about 3 a.m, and I'm in some really serious pain with my right shoulder. It started hurting me Friday nightish, Saturday during the day. And I figured it was just me getting old. But it got to the point overnight last night into early this morning that it was like a fire in my shoulder. So I texted them and said, hey, thanks, but no thanks. I won't be there today, but I will be going to the doctor. Here's something funny. They got walk-in clinics all over the place here in Norwich and Gales Ferry and Groton.
Mm-hmm.
Walk-in clinics. 2 words, walk-in in. They're not walk-ins anymore. You have to make an appointment to go to the walk-in. The two ones in Norwich told me, oh, no, we're appointment only. I said, but it says walk-in out front. Well, yeah, we're booked. But you're a walk-in. So I get on my little phone gimmick, and Minute Clinic at CVS pops up. I go, they one in Old Saybrook? No complaints. Boobs, yes. Lots of them.
The Symphony of Dysfunction has started.
Yeah, the wife was
We definitely need to get a soundbite, Herm, for that.
I've got to get just the riff. Dun, 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 dun.
It's playing around 6:20 every day.
Yeah, pretty much.
So anyway, I go to the walk-in clinic in CVS, and I either have an impingement of my nerve in my right shoulder or I have a rotator cuff injury. So that's where I'm at now. I have to go to the walk-in orthopedic clinic tomorrow afternoon. And
will you be able to walk in, or do you have to let them know 6 weeks in advance that you're coming?
I called them this afternoon and said I will
drag your ass
tomorrow.
into work and throw yourself on the floor.
That's it.
Well, it's funny because I described what was wrong with me in my text to work to my my boss and the guy who's training me.
That's an injury from loading machines.
Mm-hmm.
They're freaked out because I'm only there 3 weeks, and that oh god, he's already hurt on the job.
Workman's constipation.
Right? This nigga got a job just to fucking fleece us.
I mean,
is this motherfucker serious, John?
That's
yes,
not a
Bobby,
move.
he is.
That's not a move I'd put on Lynch, but hey,
no, never in a million years. That's why I'm joking about it. But can you imagine being 3 weeks? This motherfucker's trying to take us for a ride.
And in my head, I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ, they think I'm trying to fuck them over.
Right. Christ, right. I'm going to get fired just because they think I'm going to fuck them over.
Yeah. But that was my day.
Hey, when in Rome, do as the other employees do. Fuck it. Get your workman's constipation.
I already have constipation.
Well, that's why I shit at work.
Now get it at work.
I have constipation and I shit at work now.
That's right. The owner makes $1, I make a dime.
I take a 10-minute shit. I take a 12-minute shit 5 days a week. At the end of the week, that's an hour. At the end of the year, they've paid me a week's salary plus vacation days to shit.
I can't even do that.
Do the math.
I have always gone by my father's philosophy. He said, you got to take a shit, do it at work, and get paid for it.
It's damn straight. If I take a 12-minute shit 5 days a week, I get an hour paid for free every week.
I'm on the road all the time. I shit where I can get it.
Hey, you need Lynch's shitmobile.
Yeah, I do. Oh, welcome, Sammy. How are you? Sammy chimes in.
I thought we banned her from the show.
No, it was a one-day ban.
She's lucky she's cute and shit.
As long as she doesn't come back with some of that silly shit all over again. While Lynch is away, I don't want to get too deep into my story, but Herm, I'll tell you, I just talked to Chad Hatfield today, and he says hello, and
hello to the hayseed.
I will let him know that you said hello, Hayseed. Always good talking to Chad, although this was a rather deep conversation that went on forever. But he's doing good. He's trying. All he can do right now is just try, my man.
Yup.
So before Lynch rattles off his asshole of the week, it is time for me to tip my cap to a couple of our viewers and say congratulations to the fans of the Michigan Wolverines who I look at the Ohio State Buckeyes this weekend and they played like the Falcons. They did 3 quarters of real solid football, and then they forgot the fourth quarter.
Then they just gave up.
It was like 45 to 20.
It wasn't even that they gave up. They just stopped.
They just sucked, is what they did.
They just stopped. It's like they were playing, and then all of a sudden somebody came in and was like, "All right, guys, that's enough. Cut it." And
they hit the pause button on only one team.
Yeah, like somebody told them it was 5 minutes of 4 on Friday, and they were just like, fuck it.
Nah, shit, I ain't doing that.
They looked great. I watched it at work, and they looked great. And then the fourth quarter happened.
Yeah, the bottom fell out.
Some space-time continuum fucked up shit happened.
Oh, but I can't bitch too bad. Good food, good company. I wore the hat. I'm going to do the jersey next week as part of my deal. Wear the jersey, get my picture made with it, and man of my word, man. When I lose a bet like that, that's why I don't bet money. Because if I just said I'll bet you $200, I'm out $200.
Oh, I always bet money. Money's always much easier than embarrassment.
Hell no, bragging rights are what I'm all about.
Money isn't everything, but it beats whatever's in second place. That's all I'm gonna say.
I don't know. I can still pay my rent on bragging rights.
Yeah.
But it's all good. And then, of course, going from one Falcon team to another, the actual Falcons were a bucket of suck on Sunday. It's just been a shit weekend. And then I lose to Derek the Undertaker in fantasy football. Yeah, I know. Picture that.
My team took a fucking ass whooping this week because
I haven't looked at the matchups yet. I didn't see how you did.
Nobody watched that fucking shit. Denver? Anybody?
No, I didn't watch it.
Dude, you didn't see his own offensive lineman chew him the fuck out?
No,
I saw it on a
Dude,
replay.
His own team got so fucking pissed at him. One of the offensive linemen turned around and chewed him out like he was a redheaded stepchild, bro.
I loved when they showed it on ESPN. It was,
he was going to kill him.
They're talking over it. And you can see him mouth the words, "Get your fucking head in the game."
Shit together.
Yeah, get your fucking head in the game. I was like, you tell him.
Good for him.
He fucking was not, and you could hear it over it, and they were talking, but when it happened, you could hear it. The on-field camera up above picked it up enough. You knew exactly what the fuck was going on, and like basically the whole team was like, "What the fuck, Russell?" For the first time, they just were like, "What the fuck?"
This is a guy who went from MVP to POS in a matter of 2-3 seasons.
Yeah.
But
get together, kid.
Yeah. So, I guess I don't have an asshole of the week. I just got the Michigan Wolverines, and now I got to spend the next 364 days listening to these two jokers and others around the country who are giving me more shit than I can eat over the last couple days. But it'll thin out. My birthday's coming up, Christmas, and then it'll start again on January 1st, where they'll really start giving it to me. But if Herm wants to hit the button, rumor has it that Senor Dribbling Lynch is coming in hot, and he's got what?
Wait, before we get into the meat and potatoes, why don't we just say a prayer and holy shit, what happened to Mystic last night?
Oh yeah, tell him about it.
All right,
if you don't know where we're from, we're in Connecticut.
Yes. Yes.
So last night I don't even remember what time. I want to say it was like 6:30. My Facebook just blows up with pictures of a fire, and they're literally popping up so fast I can't read where it is until I get 5 seconds, and it's like, holy shit, it's downtown Mystic.
That fire toned out. That fire toned out at 8:45.
That's what it was.
Your time.
Yeah.
And my buddy Chris, that I used to work with over at Noble, is working over at he's over at the Shipwright's Daughter, very high Michelin star chef's exclusive place. They shut the place down because by 9 o'clock when the truck showed up, there was embers and shit floating over in the people that were outside on the deck. It was getting in the food. They pulled all the food and left. But yeah, like I had pictures of that before it even. I have a picture of that when Chris sent me the picture, and he's like, "There, hey Jordan, what's up?"
There's Jordan.
He sent me the picture, and he's like, "There's a big fire over at across the river." Now at this point, it was 9:15. So basically, the fire had just started when at like 9 o'clock was when he sent me the picture. So it was small. Okay, what I saw was a little teeny tiny ball of fire, a little glow behind a. Where's my fucking phone? But it was small. All right. By the time you guys saw it on Facebook, the place was burning. But I saw that when it was just like it looked like somebody had a rather large campfire going over there in a parking lot.
Yeah,
And
people,
yeah,
people from all over the country who I used to live in the area were like messaging me because I was one of the ones in our little group to post it. Where is this? Where is this? I'm like, well, if you're in downtown Mystic at the marina, it's on the Stonington side of the river, at the very end of Cottrell Street, which literally is right. That's where Red 36 is. That's where the main marina is. If you go over the bridge into Stonington, it's just to the right of that. You go straight through the bridge, and to your right, you could have seen it from standing at the flagpole in downtown Mystic. I got firsthand pictures sent to me by people who responded. Buildings and propane tanks and boat gasoline tanks were just exploding left and right because it's a marina. That shit's all over the place. They take propane out for their grills, and they have gas tanks on for their little dinghies and lifeboats. It was a mess. It was the fourth tone was Mohegan Facet.
It was 4-alarm. They toned Mystic, Norwich, Ashaway, and Westerly.
And Mohegan.
And Mohegan
Norwich, Yantic, and another Norwich department went out too.
Yeah. But they basically toned out all available departments in Norwich. They toned out all available in Westerly, all available in Ashaway, and Mystic toned out as well. But there was 4 additional fire departments from 2 additional states.
And Mohegan Fast Team was there. My friend Jeremy, who recently got promoted to lieutenant at the Mohegan Tribal Fire Department, he was keeping a good tally as to what was going on. The day after pictures don't do it justice. I hear you see a couple burnt buildings and some.
No, it's just a large. Just looks like a large bunch of black, and the picture they took, unfortunately, is from the air, rather high. It does show you, if you know the area, how the quantity of square footage that was wrecked, because it's just black and you can just see where it was torched. But
it was a big chunk of Mystic that burned.
No, it was. But from the air, the way that is, you can't. It does. I would have liked a closer picture to the ground to be able to see a little more of just how badly it was burned.
And they haven't come up with determined a cause or whether it was intentional or accidental. Of course, the fire investigation is ongoing right now as we speak.
Oh yeah.
My gut says it's accident. I mean, I don't think anyone in that area would intentionally set a fire.
Right.
In my heart of hearts, I feel that, but you never know.
Yep. Jordan, to answer your question. Sorry, Lynch. Jordan, just answering your question. There was a fire in downtown Mystic, right on the water, near at the Seaport Marina last night, and started about 9 o'clock. And they lost 4 buildings. And we're not talking about like 4 houses. We're talking about like shipyard buildings. We're talking like 4 warehouses and a restaurant were burnt to the fucking ground. It happened that fast. And in the area, there's propane, gasoline tanks, all sorts of flammables, fiberglass. The downtown Mystic on the water went up like a Roman candle last night. Like when you see pictures.
Look at that. There's a video of it right there.
That's from the street. That's like literally, that's.
What's that? 2 blocks, 3 blocks away?
No,
2
not
blocks.
even. I mean,
That's
That's the block, because there's the street and the house, and down around.
Okay,
the
yeah, I
corner is
see,
the
I
fire.
see. Yeah.
You like that dude could throw a rock and hit that fire from where he was taking a picture.
Wow, that's
it was big.
nuts. Well, yeah, thoughts and prayers go out to all those folks, and especially the folks in and around that. Matt Pistol, welcome. He says, "Have they said how it started?" I don't believe they have.
No,
No,
not
they
yet. They're still
they haven't.
investigating, Matt, on exactly how that started. But yeah, quite the scary, huge ass fucking fire downtown Mystic.
And the
That
potential
is
for
neat.
the potential for further loss was huge, because there's a lot of things in that small area that could light up like a match. And
Well, I was
Right.
talking to
the
Chris,
wind wasn't helping.
and the way it worked is because of the wind last night and the way the winds were blowing through there, the fire actually jumped over the water.
Yeah.
In the marina, there is an inlet that there's an inner dock, and it's in the picture of the scorched earth. That's that long strip of water down the center. And if you notice, everything on both sides of the water is completely fucking torched. That's what happened. One side was burning, it got hot, and it got so hot that it blew the heat and the fire right across the water and lit everything else up on the other side.
That's insanity.
So yeah,
Oh.
thoughts and prayers and all that other good vibe to residents of Mystic, that area, or anyone who has family out there. Hopefully, I haven't heard any injuries. The only thing I've heard of is property loss. Let's hope that's all.
Right, and give a huge shout out to the first responders who contained it, so there weren't any loss of life.
Yeah,
All of them.
and
Yes, sir.
and, you can replace shit. You can't replace people.
Exactly.
Thoughts and
Absolutely.
prayers. All right, on to the asshole.
All right, hit that funky music, white boy.
All
Lynch
right,
has
I'm working
an-
on it.
Lynch
I'm working
has,
on it.
I'm introing it.
Sorry.
So Lynch has himself easy for me to say in English, has himself an asshole of the week, and we get to hear about it. So once we hear that funky music, we'll talk about it.
How does it feel to be a real asshole? Yes, that's it.
Talk it to us, Lynch. Talk
right,
to
all right.
us.
I'll walk and talk you in. So anyway, as most of you who listen probably already know, I live in Connecticut in a town called Oakdale, part of Montville. It's a little village. And you had the two options for garbage pickup. You either pay Willimantic Waste to come get it. Now, with my driveway being a third of a mile long, I opt to bring it to the transfer station. And that's option two. You get a pass, pay $100 for the year to bring your trash to the transfer.
They don't have any private.
You can.
I'm just asking.
You can.
Is it an
but-
option?
The majority of the people in town just use Willimantic Waste because they're A, the most prevalent, and B, probably the cheapest.
Okay.
I never looked into it. I never looked into that because, like I said, it's a third of a mile for me to drag a trash can down to pick up.
Right.
I could put it in the back of the truck, but it's just easier for me to go to the dump. So this season, they had announced that they were going to take your dump pass that you get, which is a sticker that affixes to your windshield. It's got a barcode on it. It's always had a barcode on it. And that they're going to start scanning and tracking how much trash you bring to the dump. That was January of this year. Out of the blue, they start scanning. No announcements, nothing in the This is why I wanted to wait a week, Chris, because I wanted to do due diligence before I call the town of Montville a fucking asshole.
Okay.
Because I wanted to make
All
sure
right.
that I didn't miss something. So I've spoken to people who work there. I've spoken to representatives of the town, and I spoke to a journalist who works for Montville Times. None of which happened. There was no letters, no Facebook post saying, "Hey, effective November, whatever, we're going to be scanning your tags, and you're limited to 8 bags per week, one trip on recyclables, as much as you can carry in one trip." And the reason I was going to call him an asshole last week is because it caused such a fucking fiasco at the gate. Nobody knew. Nobody knew what was going on. So you have little old men arguing the fact they got 12 bags. Guys like me who are just like, what the fuck? I didn't see this announced anywhere. Just deal with it. I make 2 bags of trash per day. Pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
That's just myself and my wife. And I recycle.
And the animal kingdom. Let's not forget you.
I have 4 dogs, a rabbit, and some fish. So
It's the fish. Those fuckers are dirty. They make a lot of trash.
Yeah, they
Well,
do.
Bruce took up about a chunk this big of the trash can this week. I'm not gonna lie, he froze. I left him outside. He froze. He was a fish stick.
He was Walt Disney.
Yeah, eyes bugging out. It was all creepy.
Oh,
Do
hi, I'm Bruce, otherwise known as Ted Williams.
So I have this old chair. I had this old chair in the back of my pickup truck last week when I went to drop off. He says, "All right, I need your little orange card." I'm like, "Well, you have it on computer. You should be able to track me on computer if I brought anything here. I haven't brought anything here." Well, if you don't have your card, it's $25. I said, "Excuse me, $25 to dump the chair." I said, "I'll just drive out here and dump it out in front yard, right in front of you." All they're doing is encouraging people to illegally dump, burn garbage, which they're not supposed to do, and just cause chaos in the town of Montville, who has complained about blight with trash for the last 7 years that I've lived here. So what am I paying for $120 a year for my dump pass? I'm limited to one trip a week. Their hours are not always conducive to people who work a 9-to-5 job. They're closed 2 days a week. No, excuse me, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, they're closed, and their hours are weird. And if God forbid there's a holiday, they took.
Oh, you're fucked.
They took Black Friday off. Sorry, Black Friday is not a holiday. Fuck you. Black Friday is not a holiday. It's made up, and it's an excuse for offices to give people 4-day weekends.
Oh yeah, that's all it is. They just take a 4-day weekend. That's all it really is.
Valentine's Day is not a real holiday either.
So
no, it's not.
Not to get into an argument with a guy at the gate, I said, "I'll make sure to find my orange card, but the next time I come here, that punch better be in that computer. Because why do you have a computer system to track how many bags I'm bringing in per trip if you're not going to update the bulky waste stuff in there?" I said, "It's useless." Well, that's just the way it is. If you don't have your little punch card with you, we're going to have to charge you every time you come. You know what, Montville? Get your shit together. Quit being an asshole. They can't get out of their own fucking way. And I like living in this town. I lived here 7 years. The local politics is a fucking soup sandwich. I have been invited to get on the police transition committee. We are going
Wait,
from
the police here are gay?
I was just gonna say that the police. What are they? Are they all transitioning from one to the next, or is it multiple transitions?
What is a cop?
A dick with a gun. No. No. We have a resident state trooper, much like Ledger does. So we are not an official police department. We are constabulatory.
I was going to say you're constables.
So they are going full cop, and there's going to be this transition period where they're looking for residents to be on the committee. And I was invited to be on the committee. Or initially, I was like, fuck it. Now I'm like, oh yeah, I want to see this shit done right.
There you go.
I always joke in the 7 years that I've lived here, I've seen a cop exactly twice. Once he pulled me over because my registration was expired and I didn't know it. I actually thanked the guy because the state of Connecticut did not send me a dummy letter. Hey, dummy, your reg is up. And the second time was for an accident that I was in front of Mohegan Sun. I never see cops out in Montville. Not on my side of Montville.
No, on the other side, though, you see them all the time.
Over on the other side because they're known to be complete pricks.
Yep.
They're known to be more extra dickish.
And I'm thankful that I know two of them
they have to be.
Yeah, I know. I'm thankful that I know two of them that are at least in supervisory capacity that I've known from other police departments or through a friend of a friend. So, Tom Montville, congratulations. You won Asshole of the Week this week for misinforming, underinforming, and just your attitude sucks. It's a better way to there's a better way to disseminate information to its residents other than tough shit, pay $25 or you don't dump here.
Right. We forgot to mention last week. I'm sorry, Lynch. Finish your thought.
Just dump it in the street, burn it.
That's what I'm saying. If they can do it in San Francisco, they can do it here too. Fuck them.
San Fran,
they're a special kind of stupid.
I don't remember the last time I walked through Montville and I saw a homeless man with his dick out. Okay.
Or people shitting on the street shooting heroin.
That's total California, San Francisco, and LA.
We forgot to mention last week, and Lynch and I did a small video. I don't know if any of you saw it. Judging by the numbers, you haven't. The studio lost another member of the family this week. We'd like to say goodbye to Bruce the fish. Big old chomper that he was. Other than Dick Fish, he was my favorite fish, and now they're both gone. All I have now is the jumping penis monkeys out there, the fucking albino dick frogs or whatever the fuck. He was a good fish,
He fished well.
and
What?
may he rest in water, or
The big
wherever the
aqua-
fuck, wherever
the
the
big
fuck
aquarium.
Lynch.
or wherever the fuck Lynch put him.
Right.
The landfill. He's probably gonna come back to life. He's probably gonna
Rest-
come back to life and haunt me.
May he help. May he compost and help a tree grow.
Amen.
And
So, are you guys ready? I think this is going to be
always
fun.
ready.
I'm ready.
So here are the
ready.
rules.
Ready.
Here are the rules, because I know sometimes we like to get a little rambunctious. I've assigned each of these to one of you. I'm not taking one. I'll chime in at the end, as all of us will, but the first one goes to Herm. So I'm going to read the blurb from Reddit from a Substack called Am I the Asshole? These
All
are
right.
real stories, I hope, that people send into Reddit and they want to know. Wait, what does Herm's shirt say? He's going to try to stand up.
Would you put your meat in my mouth? You're gonna want to swallow.
There you go.
I can speak from your brisket. That's about it.
The burnt ends are still top notch.
Oh, drool.
All right. So the rules are I'm going to read it out loud. And then when it comes time, I'm going to say, Herm, this person's asking you, am I the asshole? You and I shut up until the end. And then when Herm makes his decision, we'll chime in. You're each going to get as many as we can fit into this episode. Cannot wait. Herm, you won the blind toss that neither of you knew about.
That's because it was blind.
Are you ready?
I am ready.
Okay, our first one. Let me see if I can find their name. They usually try to add their name. This comes from Positive Balance 3756. This was 4 days ago. So my mother-in-law came to stay with us for a few weeks till her home is renovated for Christmas. I'm a woman also. Good that she knows what she is. The problem is that she has been randomly walking in on me while I'm in the bathroom. Thankfully, not once has she seen me naked because I started picking up on her behavior after the second time in 1 week. She'd barge in, then turns and says, "Oh, sorry," then closes the door. I tried talking to my husband about it, but he kept ignoring me, then flat out said, "So what if she accidentally seen you naked? She's family." He seriously said that. We have a lock, and I could have used it, but I have post-trauma from the idea of being locked in a room after my brother locked me in the bathroom when I was 5. I already know Herm's answer, but I'm going to keep reading. So I came up with this idea. I'd go inside the bathroom pretending to use it and wait for her to come in, because honestly, it's deliberate at this point. When she accidentally barges in, she'd see me in a weird, awkward pose. For example, doing a ballet stand, standing on the toilet, or just standing facing the wall with my hands up, fully clothed, of course. I could see how awkward and weird this would be for her because she'd stand there for a few seconds trying to figure out what I was doing. It was hilarious at first seeing her initial confusion, but she told my husband about it, claiming, quote, "She's caught me practicing rituals in the bathroom." I cleared things with my husband and revealed the real reason why, and my husband was livid. He called me childish and said that I made his mom feel terrified and weirded out by my behavior. He said that I should have acted maturely and locked the damn door instead of playing mind games. Am I the asshole?
Yes, you are completely the asshole. Completely the asshole. Okay, there's a lock on a door for a reason. It's like the number one signal when you try to go into a bathroom that lets you know right off the fucking rip somebody's in there, because it only locks from the inside. Otherwise, you got to get the little stick and do the pokey thing. All right?
Mhm.
It locks from the inside. That's it. Nobody has a bathroom door with a key on the outside.
If you do, there's a problem.
I'm just gonna say, what the fuck's going on? Like, what is
lock
going
that
on
turd
in
in
the
there.
bathroom?
I don't
Like,
want nobody
that you
seeing
need to
that
lock
turd.
it and screen who the fuck comes in. But yeah, you're an asshole. look, do you make a lot of noise? Is the house loud? Is it almost silent when somebody goes to the bathroom? You don't know what it is, because I'll tell you right now, in this house, you can't hear shit in another room with the walls being stucco. You don't hear shit.
Yeah, they call
I'm
it-
agreeing with
is
you.
the house quiet? If the house is quiet, all right. Well, you lock the door. So instead, you take what is quite possibly. Oh, Sammy wants to know if
Can
they
we
can
play?
play.
Put her comment up.
I'm going to.
All right. Sammy says they're both assholes. Her for not locking the door, and mother-in-law for not knocking on a closed door. Good call by you.
Right, but it's possible. I can give you that. But again, the playing the litigator style here and playing devil's advocate. We also don't know what the I've gone to houses where the bathroom's door is always shut and you just go in, and that, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
You go into the bathroom. So again, we don't have, there is information missing to make a full complete judgment. But if you thought it was deliberate, you could have talked about it. But you already admitted that you have some sort of fucked up head trauma with bathrooms to begin with. So
I got it. I
anybody
got it.
walking by the bathroom is like, you've got fucking Anthony Hopkins, or whatever it is. You've got psycho syndrome. But
I'm typing this in. I don't want to say it out loud. Oh, shit. I'm going to hell for this, by the way. You know what? Fuck it. I'm not going to type it because you're
just
done.
say it.
It seems like our asshole has BTSD, bathroom traumatic stress disorder.
Yeah.
And all it takes is open a window, lock the door. You know who did the locking. You know you can get out. If you'd have talked to her, I'm with Herm on this one. If you'd have talked to her, maybe it would have went this way, but you circumvented. You went to the husband. Your husband thinks you're nuts. Now the mother-in-law thinks you're nuts. Yeah, you are the asshole.
Yeah, I'll buy that. I mean, like Sammy said, they both could have done better. But
Well, yeah. I mean,
if it's my house, which I wouldn't put this past my mother because she's in outer space 90% of the fucking time.
That is true.
right. Like, and she wouldn't even realize somebody had gone in there. She'd just walk in, right?
Right. And she go, oh, sorry, and she'd walk out, but she wouldn't do it again. She would make sure, oh shit, I better knock next time.
Mm-hmm.
I
She'd
don't
probably
lock
take a shit while you were showering.
or shit in the shower.
I wouldn't put anything past your mom.
I need a 2x4. I can't
Is
get
she
this
in
turd
there
down the
shitting
shower
and
grate.
eating breakfast?
That was
All
my
right.
dad. That was my dad. Cup of coffee and a bagel as he's getting ready
On
to
the
work.
shitter.
Shit.
On the shitter.
I can't
God
do it.
bless that man. Oh,
I can't eat where I shit. Literally.
all right. Are you ready, Lynch?
I am born ready.
All right, here we go. This one comes from Throwaway 12345. This was 10 days ago. I'm a 32-year-old female, and I've been with my wife, Ava, for 8 years now, but we've been married for 5. She was a single mom of 3 kids when we started dating. She had 2 daughters, now 10 and 12, and a son who's now 16. I've watched these kids grow up. I've read bedtime stories, done bath time, the first day of school, PTA meetings, all of it. I very much consider them to be my kids, and they've been calling me mom for almost 6 years now. My brother Ivan, who's 28, just had a baby girl with his wife, Sarah, 27. I love my niece, and my kids adore their cousin. My kids have been the only grandchildren on my side of the family since Ava and I got together, and there's never been a moment where the kids or my wife were treated like they didn't belong. My brother is their uncle. My mom and dad have always been Nana and Pop. The kids see my family as their family, and I always thought that my family felt the same way. The kids and I were over at my brother's house just hanging out, and my parents ended up dropping by with gifts for my niece. Ivan laughed when he saw the toys and told our mom and dad that they were going to end up spoiling her rotten. My mom said, since my niece is their first grandchild, of course they have to spoil her. My kids were sitting in the living room with all of us, and my youngest daughter looked hurt when she realized what my mother said. My son and my 12-year-old didn't fully react to it, but I could tell it bothered them too. Sarah spoke up and said, oh, you mean your first grandbaby, not your first grandchild. My dad shook his head and replied that my niece was their first grandchild. I didn't want my kids to keep sitting there listening, so I handed my son the keys and I told him to wait in the car with his sisters. When they were gone, I asked my parents what in the hell they'd said that made my kids not their grandchildren. And my mom said they couldn't be grandchildren because they weren't my real children. My wife and I were going to be hosting Thanksgiving this year at our house, but I told my parents that if they didn't view my kids as their family, they could just host a meal at their own house with their real family, while I spent the holiday with mine. I left before they could say anything else to me, and my wife and I have reiterated to the children that they will always be my kids and I will always be their mom, regardless of DNA. My brother is pissed at me now because he thinks I reacted too harshly and that I should try to see where my parents are coming from. My mom texted that she and dad love the kids, but they still aren't the grandchildren, and she hopes that we can come to an understanding because she doesn't want to ruin my niece's first Thanksgiving. I haven't replied back. I meant what I said, but I'm worried that maybe I'm reacting too harshly. Am I the asshole?
No, absolutely not. You know what? Because if it were me, and how do I treat your daughter?
Like she's your own.
Do I ever say, "Oh, this is not my real niece"?
No, never.
And like my little sister Michelle, who's in Florida, I never refer to her as just Michelle from Florida. She's my little sister.
Mm-hmm.
My dad basically adopted her when she was 16 years old, and she lived with us for quite some time. That's my sister, whether it's blood or not.
Mm-hmm.
Flesh and bone, she's my sister. And I'm the same way with anybody who would be, yeah, thank you, Matt, not the asshole. She is not the asshole. The mother, all right, I can understand what the brother's point of view. Talk it out, get it over with, get the logistics worked out. And say that really hurts me because I treat everybody like their family. And you should too. These two kids look up to you as their grandparents. And you just smash that. That's a tough thing to come back from when you're that young. You're old enough to understand, but not quite old enough to kind of remember it forever. But then if you're a mature kid, that could really fucking haunt you. I mean, it's like finding out when you're 30 that your parents aren't your real parents. You still love them. You still love them. They're your parents. They raised you. They're just not biologically you were adopted, you know? But still, I have friends who were adopted kids, and the parents still look at them as their child. Just because they came from somebody else, that's just a byproduct of what happened to them.
Right.
Yeah. She is not the asshole. Sorry.
Okay. To put some context into this, my brother has two beautiful stepdaughters, and my mother and father do not treat them any differently because they're not blood. They've been in our lives per se for about, let me do the math here, 8 or 9 years now. One is 19 and one is 17. So since they were, child age,
Yeah.
not quite a teenager, but not a baby. And they've never treated either one of those kids any better or worse than they treat Emma. So I'm with you. This young lady is not the asshole.
No, I don't think so at all.
All right, Sperminator, your call.
I don't think she's the asshole. I don't know how old she is, but people are raised differently. People in different families have different rules and different thoughts on things. Those children are not blood. Okay.
That's a
Now,
fact.
I'm not saying that blood makes you family, but for the fact of family, blood does make you blood.
Mm-hmm.
And that is a ticket into a slightly more exclusive club. Now, extended family is extended family, and mixed families are good, are fine. I have a mixed family. Everybody pretty much has a mixed family nowadays to one degree or another. But sometimes, as I've found out, sometimes decisions come down to who's blood and who's not. And on an older generation, that could very much so be even more of a box to check. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying families are all different. And you as their parent, you've married, they're your kids, you have the right to also talk to your spouse, male or female or whatever the fuck it is, and make a decision that you feel is best for your family. So you don't always have to freak out and think you might be the asshole. Sometimes you kind of have to be the asshole as far as the handling of it in order to cut out which figure is toxic. You have to make a decision that's best for your family. The same way that the brother and the parents are making that decision as to what they feel is right and best for theirs. So, in turn, you can defend yourself and protect your children from that if that's what you feel.
Okay.
Probably sounds like I'm talking in circles.
No,
but,
I agree with I agree 100% with what you're saying.
Every family is different, so you don't know how that shit ranks, and maybe you just, unfortunately, here's the first situation where that's come up to that kind of makes it that gives rank.
Well, like your first question, we're missing a lot of context behind it. So,
And they're never going to share everything.
Oh,
right. No, we end up with a lot of context missing, and you're also getting we're also getting one side, so we're judging one side. So I'd love to hear what mom and grandpa would have to say about why.
Oh, I would love to hear their side.
Again, they're that critical thinking that I don't have, being able to listen to both sides.
Yeah, it sucks being a critical thinker and being accused of not being a critical thinker.
Well, yeah, critical thinking doesn't mean you hear it and agree with it. It means you hear it, listen to it,
dissect
give it value, and then process it how you want and how it works.
For those anybody who doesn't know what Reddit is, it can be a rabbit hole of despair. So sometimes the content coming from said site Reddit is questionable at best, but these type of threads are usually done in jest, and these are people looking for honest answers because they really don't know, or they don't have a friend they can talk to.
Because they come from a generation where they get their affirmation from the internet rather than asking folks like us that know them.
Right. And I love Reddit. I love reading it. I like looking at the craziness that goes on about it. I love Sammy's 3 comments, but I have to point out Matt's. Sorry to stop you, Lynch.
I was just reading Matt's.
I wonder how they signed the Christmas cards before the new grandchild was born. Was it signed Grandma and Grandpa? If so, then definitely not the asshole.
There it is, Matt. That's one of those pieces of information that we totally don't have. Like, did they sign it Mom and Pop? Because then, do you know what I mean? And
right. And according to this, they were always known as Nana and Pop Pop.
Right. So technically, that's not Grandma and Grandpa. But if again, that's also difficult because being a grandparent is one of the coolest fucking things in the world, if for only one reason. It's the only time in your life where you get to pick your nickname.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Every other time in life, somebody assigns you a nickname. All right.
I already picked mine.
Time. Oh, me too. It's the only time. It's the only time in life where you get to be like, no, I want to be called whatever the fuck you say it is.
All right. Before we get to your question, Mike, I got to know, what did you pick for when you finally have grandchildren?
I'm Pop.
Okay.
I'm Pop. I want to be Pop.
What about you, Burns?
I chose Pappy.
Oh, very nice.
Pappy just sounds, it's cool.
See, now I also wanted to I also like Brenton's version. When I first brought Brenton over to meet my parents and visit with them and stuff, he kept saying Grampy in the kitchen. And what's Grampy? And like the one in the kitchen. Grampy's not in the kitchen. Little Grampy. So my dad was Big Grampy, and Mom was Little Grampy.
Wow!
In the very beginning, he assigned Grampy to like that role.
Yeah.
So
that side of the family.
Yeah, so it was that's Grampy, and then Grampy and the King. So when he messed it up, it was Big Grampy, Little Grampy, and I thought that would be pretty cool too with me and Jen.
That is pretty cool. And I'm gonna save Sammy a lot of heartache. The three of us are gonna do her job for her. Bring up that comment because Sammy's got a grandchild on the way. She hasn't decided, and the baby's coming soon. So Sammy, we're each gonna give you a suggestion, and you have to pick one because you've taken this long and you haven't chosen. We're gonna do it for you. Starting with Lynch, what should Sammy's grandbaby call Sammy?
If she has other kids, what do they call her? Maybe
First grandchild. First grandchild.
Nana.
Oh, Nana's cool. Herm?
Nana.
I always like Grammy
See, I'm a fan of Nana
because then when you get old, it just shortens to Graham, and
that's true.
Keep it, and you can use the same nickname through childhood and adult.
My mother-in-law, Karen, is Graham. She was Grammy early on in Cammie and Emma's life. Cammie, my niece, of course, and Emma Burns, no relation, my daughter. And she was Grammy. Now it's Graham. But I'm particular to Mimi only because it's a name, but it's not aged. Like Grandma or Mima or any of those.
Yeah, kind of like Gigi for grandma, for great grandma. It's not. It doesn't depict age. It just it's just a name.
All right, Sammy, you've got 1 week. You've got your marching orders. Get to picking, woman. Get to picking.
My grandfathers were easy. They each had their own nickname in real life.
Oh, wow.
On my mother's side, his nickname was Happy. And on my father's side, his nickname was Red. So I just called him Ned and Happy.
Okay. Rock and roll.
Mine were all just Grandpa.
Oh, that or that. I didn't have the special names.
We wouldn't have used.
It was Grandma Lynch or Grandma Lewis.
We wouldn't have used their adult nicknames with them. Didn't matter what they were.
If they said, call me Smokey.
If they were to say so, yeah, but no, it was always just Grandma and Grandpa. That was it.
Yeah.
All right, so are you ready, Herm?
I'm ready.
Okay, this one comes from user 119975444. This was 8 days ago. For every holiday, my mother would ask the women in the family, my sisters, sister-in-law, my wife, and female cousins, to send samples of the desserts they plan to bring to the celebration for testing and see if the desserts could make it to the food menu. I kind of like this.
All right.
My wife has been complaining about my mother deliberately rejecting every dessert sample she ever sends. So many times my mother has told her that she's being honest and keeping the guests' best interest at heart. Yet my wife will still think that my mother is deliberately excluding her since 2 of her dessert samples were rejected before. So for this year's Christmas, my mother is doing the same thing, but this time she told every woman participating in the event to send a cookie sample and send it to her for testing. My wife took it as a challenge, and to be honest, she worked really hard to make a good sample and sent it to my mother days ago, and the results just came in. I came home from work and found my wife upset and crying. I asked, what's wrong? And she told me that my mother rejected the sample she sent and decided to exclude her from the baking food list menu for Christmas this year. I didn't know what to say, but then she told me she was backing out of the invitation to attend Christmas with my family. I was stunned when I heard her make this statement. I tried to talk to her, but she said, what's done is done. I called her unreasonable to decide to bail on the whole family over some cookie sample. That's just freaking crazy and quite unreasonable. We had a full-on argument about it, and she stated that my mother caused this, but I told her that my mother is pretty serious and careful about the food she offers to guests, since many have allergies, many have preferences. I lost my sentence. Oh, yeah. And they're coming from all sides of the country. My wife told me to stop mentioning it. Later on, I heard her crying even more, despite telling her that her baking is amazing and people have preferences and allergies. That is all. Am I the asshole for insisting that her decision is unreasonable?
No. Nope. Not at all.
Go on.
No. What you think I don't require? You think I don't require a job like an application and references to bring food to a party?
I know. I couldn't just bring
it's
ambrosia.
my party. I have final say over it. You don't like it? Don't fucking come. More food for the rest of us. Sorry.
There's an update.
Oh,
It says, great. So I just got off the phone with my brother, and he told me that his wife is doing the exact same thing as my wife, that she has decided to back out of the invitation to spend Christmas with my family as well. Turns out my wife must have told her about the decision, and she decided to follow suit. My brother is pissed, saying my wife is encouraging his wife to do this. I see that the problem has only gotten bigger now. Who knows if my younger sister might join and decide not to go as well. I don't know how this got out of control so quickly. I guess we'll try to have a discussion with my mother about this soon and see how it goes.
all right. So you can't be mad because family talks on the phone and family talks. So you
Mhm.
know that's gonna pass around. What did the brother's wife get rejected too?
It doesn't say.
But the way I hear it is the losers are mad because they lost.
Sounds like it. Yeah.
All right. So sounds like the losers.
Happens.
Losers are mad because they got they lost the contest, and Mama don't want their food in her house.
Sounds good to me.
The two of y'all get together and have your own fucking Thanksgiving with little pigeons and eat whatever the fuck you want. This is my house. I make the decisions on what the fuck comes in here.
Go to the Chinese buffet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do Jewish Christmas. Eat Chinese and eat Chinese and see a movie.
Fa ra 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 ra.
Rah
Having
rah
come-
rah rah.
What do you got,
Seriously, I don't
Wait.
I don't I think she's kind of being an asshole a little bit. She is stirring the pot, but you also can't blame her because family talks. Yep.
Mhm.
Did Carol cancel your cookie too? Yeah. Well, I'm mad. Me too. All right, you guys got to calm the fuck down.
Having come from a family that took Christmas Eve and Christmas pretty serious, my dad's side of the family was they cooked for a week, for one day. I mean, for Christ's sake, a day and a morning, Christmas
Mhm.
Eve and Christmas morning. My grandmother was a hell of a cook, and she would say, "No, I got this." She'd be very polite, very soft about it. Like one of my aunts would say, "I'll make an ambrosia salad." "Oh no, sweetie, I've got this covered. Don't you worry."
I don't know what you're making. I
Yeah.
don't know what you're making.
Exactly. And she was picky, and she was very polite about it.
Sammy
It broke
Miner,
her
that's
heart.
because you'll obviously eat anything that anybody brings to your house. Lord knows how it's made. Yes, it's a fun family get together, and it's perfect when all the food is done exactly the way I want it.
Unless you're a gambling person. If you're a gambling person, everybody bring whatever. the fuck
Yeah,
they want,
you know what I
and you
mean?
can play a
Like,
game. You can play a game. Who's going to shit themselves this Christmas?
yeah, you want to do it to mac and cheese. You do the contest at the dinner. Everybody brings their mac and cheese. One thing. That's the contest. You let the people decide. But
Blind vote.
all right, if you want, if you wanted to do, maybe that's what she needs to do. Maybe that's the new tradition that she starts with her 4 people Thanksgiving or Christmas. There's the contest. Everybody makes a thing and we bring it and we eat it and we judge it. But at Mom's house, that's how it goes the fuck down.
Mhm.
I don't know.
All right.
I don't remember how old the wife is, but maybe she might just want to
Like 7 from what I'm seeing.
grow up a little bit. It's a fucking cookie, okay?
Right.
She's 7.
Your husband may love caramel cookies or butterscotch cookies. His mother may fucking hate them. Everybody's got their own
Say,
taste.
how do you know your husband's telling you the truth? He's got to
Exactly.
live with you.
Right.
He could just want to go to sleep peacefully at night. Honey, this shit's delicious.
He could just be
All right.
a knight in shiny latex and just saying the right things.
So I guess we're all in agreement that the husband is not the asshole.
No. The mother-in-law might be.
She's got a little asshole in her, but when
All
you
right,
get to the
but
food
it's her
allergies
house.
and
But
things
it's
like
but
that,
it
it's
is
her
her
house.
So it's her house.
Everybody's got a
She's
little
cleaning
asshole.
her castle. So
Exactly.
that's it. You go into her castle. Otherwise, you host the dinner at your house.
All right, Lynch, are you ready?
I am.
All right. This
I
is
don't
from
know, Sammy Miner. I haven't tasted Aunt Hattie's cookies, and I'll taste Aunt Hattie's cookies. If
Send
they're
us
not
some.
up to par, you send us some at dysfunctionjunction.com and
Junction
We'll
Dysfunction
judge.
Show at gmail.com.
for real. See,
Oh, I like that. We used to just elbow each other and go, don't eat that.
Don't eat that.
Yeah.
See, I have no
Don't-
idea how that shit
no.
works. I have no idea.
Don't-
Everything It was delicious that my mother made. She was fucking amazing. But yes, I can understand there's people there that no, for really, woman, send us some Aunt Hattie her cookies so that you can mail it to us.
acid.
Yeah.
All right, Lynch, are you ready?
That shit on the plate that's breathing, don't eat it.
This comes from Euphoric Rabbit 7706. So you already know this is going to be fun. A 21-year-old female. So she says, my boyfriend and I, he's been my boyfriend almost a year. He invited me to dinner with his family, his mom, his dad, and his 16-year-old brother. I'd never met them prior to this. The only thing I
You've
knew
been dating
about them,
for a year and not.
What is the
Sorry.
rules?
Sorry.
He always breaks the rules.
What did he
That's
do?
number one.
I don't know why they didn't meet. It's not in the Reddit.
Damn it.
Never met them prior to this. The only thing that I knew about them is that they're conservative and Christians, but lovely people. And they were. I got along really well with them before dinner. They were lovely and talkative. When it was time for dinner, my boyfriend's dad wanted to pray. After praying, he said something along the lines of, let us dig in and let the food keep us quiet. This is pretty popular saying in our country. Oh, she's not even from America.
Does she have a
Mostly
green
to
card?
young children in school. Let the food keep us quiet. Okay, my understanding is that this has always been you shouldn't speak with food in your mouth or be extremely loud at the table. I wouldn't say it as a cultural thing, though. So I dug in. I took a bite. It was fish soup. Absolutely delicious. And, like a good guest, I wanted to compliment the cook. This is
got to be some sort of
delicious.
Asian-y, Filipino curry. I'm some fish soup. I'm
Yeah, I know.
wondering if, with her being, I'm wondering if it's some sort, like with Bruce in it. Like they
The
cook
rules, Herm.
Oh,
The
sorry.
rules.
Sorry.
Goose fraba.
It's so much easier to ask for forgiveness than get permission. Sorry.
I know it is, especially with Herm who changes the rules on the fly. So I'll continue. This is delicious. Is it saffron? This is the perfect autumn soup. My boyfriend's brother looked surprised. My boyfriend's father hushed me big time, really aggressive, shh, with the finger over the lips. And then he said it again. Let the food keep us quiet. I apologized because I thought I had accidentally spoken with food in my mouth or something.
Shut the fuck up.
But a few minutes passed and nobody said a word. Really awkward and really weird, especially since they had been so talkative just an hour before. My boyfriend was also unusually quiet. After a few minutes, I was too weirded out and asked about their day and how nice it was that I was invited today. The mother did the hush thing. So awkward. I think this is when it clicked. No speaking at all at the table. Let the food keep us quiet, I reminded myself. Really quiet. But this was a super awkward situation, and I couldn't deal with that. Imagine sitting at a table with 5 people and everybody eating soup, looking dead serious. So I laughed. It just slipped out. Ended up being told off by my boyfriend's parents that I was being disrespectful, and if I didn't respect how their household worked, I could eat alone in the kitchen. We were in a separate dining room at the time.
You're at the
So
children's table.
I thanked them for the food and left to the hotel that me and my boyfriend were staying at. My boyfriend later told me that that was an asshole move and I should have just kept quiet or eat alone in the kitchen. I understand their family traditions and rules, but it was so weird. I couldn't take it anymore. Lynch, was I being the asshole?
I'm going to call an audible and say yes.
That's an audible?
Honestly,
It's just 2 answers, yes or no.
My dad used to tell stories where you didn't talk at the dinner table. Dinner was for eating. There was no, how's dad, how was your day? Mom, what'd you do today? Son, what'd you learn in school? No. The dinner table was for dinner. And you conversed afterward. Table was for eating. And definitely a cultural difference, I'm going to assume, between the boyfriend and the girlfriend, as Mike stated, is probably an Asian thing. That sounds very, very up their alley. I kind of would have, if it were me, having been in that situation before, I dated a Filipino girl, and that was the situation. You ate. That's it. And you thanked them for the food. You talked afterward. I would have just went with it. Just keep my mouth shut, eat, go along with it, and then ask questions afterward. Is this a family thing? Is it a
Right? Like when it was time for talking, unload.
Yeah,
unload. All right, guys.
Otherwise, shut
This
the
is
fuck
really interesting. I think, and I'm noticing the cultural difference, and it's cool. And I'm, there's a million ways to come up with that. Is that religious, or you know what I mean? So you're in order to understand somebody,
Now I
shut
could
up,
see if
just shut the fuck up for a minute
could-
and eat, and then
I
talk
could
when
see
it's
if
time.
I could see if the dad jumped up on the table, started pounding his fist, and called her a cunt to leave, and go to the hotel. But
Right,
that only happens at the 99.
At the 99, that's it.
which
But
is
yeah, I
closing
mean,
in Groton.
they were very, let the.
Yeah, I mean, they were as polite as they could be to a point. They were very tolerant, and again, context missing. Don't know the background. Just based upon that information, yeah, you're kind of being an asshole for getting up and leaving in the middle of dinner, and it's embarrassing to the boyfriend. You got to look at it from his shoes.
Dude, if the food's good, sit down, shut up, and eat the fucking food.
Right,
and that's always been the mentality between that.
The getting up and going out and making a scene, I think, is a little more than I would have signaled, motioned, I need to talk to you in the other room right now.
Right. I mean, that's immature.
Right. You know what I mean? And look, this is just the way it is at dinner. I'm sorry. I didn't give you the heads up. It's normal to me.
I should have told you. I'm sorry.
It's normal to me. I didn't even think about it. Look, we're going to go back. We're going to eat. We're going to be quiet. And then when everything's done and cleared, then we just talk our ears off. Okay. It's just the way it is here.
Dinner around here.
Because you get used to things and the way things are. I understand. He should have given her a heads up, but yes, Sammy. But also, we all know that in comfortability, and he's in his parents' home where he probably grew up, so everything there is extremely comfortable, and nothing is out of the ordinary. So to him, that's not even a thing. It was probably a thing when he got somewhere and realized nobody else does this.
Right.
So yeah, if he had thought about it, a heads up maybe, but you know what? Realizing in the situation that it is, but again, stomping out in the middle of Christmas dinner was kind of is a dick move. It's a move for show, not trying to rectify the situation. And what am I doing wrong here so we can have a good day?
Damage control. The damage control on that is impossible because you're already
right. Damage control could have been done in the talk in the other room. We're not at the table, in the bathroom, down the hall,
to the window, to the wall.
No, they didn't ask her to leave. They said if she wasn't going to obey the custom or rule or whatever it was at the table, then which is their way, then she would have to go sit at a table in the kitchen rather than in the formal dining room. Obviously, they were in a formal dining room. And there's rules in the formal dining room at that house. So you want to go sit and talk, she can go sit at the kitchen table at the eat-in. Yep.
This dinner was ASMR.
Right,
I think this fish soup is giving me a boner.
Yeah, there's definitely a formal dining room thing going on because you can go sit in the kitchen. All right. So, yeah, that's why I said you can go sit at the kids' table because in my house, that's what happened. You sat in the formal dining room once you were old enough, or you sat at the kids' table in the kitchen.
That's what you get. So we're all in agreement. She's an asshole.
Yeah, for the walking out thing. If she'd have handled it different, she wouldn't have been.
All right. Herm, are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. This is a female, 28 years old. She's known as...
She's an asshole. Oh, sorry.
Wow.
Female.
Throw R 99,000. This is 2 days ago, so this is fresh. 28-year-old female. I have been with my husband, Sean, 33, for 2 years. We've been married 5 months. Most of his family are decent people, but his mom can be a little passive-aggressive and tends to criticize me a lot. Sean sees it as her still not getting used to me being around, but I don't know because she treats his ex, Julie, very well. Mother-in-law says that Julie has been around the family for ages and her past with Sean has never affected her relationship with her. Fine, I've never minded her attending every holiday and being around until yesterday. We had Thanksgiving dinner at my mother-in-law's house. Sean went there before me, and when I arrived, it was already dinner time. Everyone was seated, and I saw all the chairs were taken. I asked my mother-in-law why she didn't save me a seat, and she said, sorry, and that one of her granddaughters decided to show up at the last minute and the chair was taken. I looked at her and then at Julie, who was sitting right next to my husband, and tried to point out how I was more deserving of that chair since I am the daughter-in-law. I know I shouldn't have said it. I know. Mother-in-law flat out said that Julie is as much of a family member as me and that it was rude to imply otherwise. Julie was nodding confidently while glancing at me. I was so upset I wanted to leave, but decided just to sit on my husband's lap and act as casual as possible. I sat on his
Yeah,
lap
that's casual.
I sat on his lap asking if he was okay with this. Don't worry, I'm petite. He's strong in build. And started eating casually while smiling and complimenting the food and mentioning to Sean how warm and comfortable his lap was. The table went awkwardly silent. Brother-in-law would try to break the silence and change the subject, but it somehow goes back to being awkward. Mother-in-law and Julie were barely eating at this point and were staring at each other and then at me with eyes wide open. Minutes later, Julie excused herself to the bathroom, and so did the mother-in-law. It was still awkward, but I did my best to focus on dinner. Sean was eating just as much as well. Later, there was just so much tension between myself and the mother-in-law, we were barely able to speak after Julie left early and right in the middle of dinner. Sean and I went home, and the mother-in-law tried calling. Uh-oh, I lost it. There we go.
I hate when that happens.
Okay. Oh, I got it back. It was a glitch in the screen. Tried calling, but then called Sean on his phone, talked to him, and then texted me and said what I did was inappropriate and that I ruined Thanksgiving dinner and made it awkward. She said it wasn't her fault the chairs were taken and I could have dragged a chair from the kitchen, but I acted childly instead and made Julie and the rest of the family uncomfortable with how inappropriate I was. I need to mention that even if I took a chair from the kitchen, there was not enough space at the dinner table to fit. Everyone was sitting next to each other. Herm, is she the asshole?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I don't know the parameters of the look. You can't help it when your mom loves a girlfriend and you're now exes. All right, it just happens. All right, you can't help. You really can't help that. And if the mom and the ex-girlfriend have a relationship outside, and you know what I mean, because obviously she got invited to dinner, and they're not dating, so there's a relationship between the mother, but how is there room for you to eat there sitting on his lap, but not room to pull in a chair and everybody sit kind of tight or work it in?
Okay.
Yeah, you know, maybe the ex-girlfriend was there. Maybe the girl is taking really a friendly relationship with exes that aren't actually, you know what I mean? There's nothing there, but they're still friends. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if she handled it the exact right way. Oh, here we go.
Nope. Honestly, I think the hubby is the asshole. He should have had a seat ready for his wife. It's not the mother-in-law's job, the ex's job, it's the husband's job. So she's saying the husband is the asshole. All right.
I guess so.
Yeah,
All right.
I can
All
see
right.
that. I can see that.
All right.
I'm going to go a different direction. I think the mother-in-law is the asshole. I don't
Yeah,
care. I don't care. My mom, for whatever reason, with the exception of maybe 2, love all my exes. Don't know why. My mother's just crazy like that. Herm knows this to be true. Lynch has gotten a taste of it once or twice. My mother's dumb like that, but she's a wonderful woman, and I can't fault her because they did form a bond with each other. But this is Thanksgiving dinner. And yes, if you want to invite her as a guest, that's all fine and dandy. But this young lady's spot was next to her husband, not the girlfriend. The girlfriend, you, ma'am, may fuck off. The mother-in-law
Right.
can get on the train right behind him. This girl was not the asshole.
Right. And my making her the asshole is for the way she handled that situation.
Oh, okay. No,
my wife would have gone and gotten a chair and asserted herself that she was who she was and her position.
Mm-hmm.
All right. This girl isn't assertive. All right. And all right. Yes, maybe the husband should have made it happen. However, if this woman wants to be the strong wife she claims she is, then she needs to the queen needs to hold her crown.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
All right.
Right.
So straight up.
Okay. Fair
And
enough.
all right. So I would have asserted myself, put myself in, made my husband make room because he'd have been like, "Oh, all right, baby, sit down." And then there you go.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Absolutely.
The whole display of dominance on the lap, making it slightly awkward, not necessary. That's a game. That was a game that was played, not the handling of a situation.
And unfortunately, on that note, she lost.
Right. And that's why she's the asshole. Not because of what caused her to do what she did, but
It's
what she did.
Okay,
All right.
fair enough.
And we were discussing if she displayed that's how she reacted. Am I the asshole? For that, yes.
Okay.
For asserting yourself and getting a chair and slamming it in, nope, not one bit. Wouldn't have been. Would have expected it.
All right. Lynch, are you in agreement with this?
No,
Yeah, Sammy, petty is ugly. It was a petty move, and rather than just being the alpha and just putting your fucking chair in, she had to play a fucking game.
Yeah, I wouldn't have played the game. Yeah, that's an asshole thing to do.
It sounds like there's multiple assholes in this situation.
Yeah.
Oh,
well,
definitely.
You know, like Mike Herm just said, I can see his wife doing that, just asserting herself and grabbing a chair and sitting down. That's probably what she should have done if she felt that way in that moment.
Right.
And she was actually that confident.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I don't know. I just think she's bitching a bitch at this point.
Pretty much. All right, Dribbling, are you ready?
I was
23 hours ago. This comes from Jason Barrett 1029. My wife and I were invited to my brother's 31st birthday. He is single, and he lives alone in an apartment. So to give you the heads up, my wife and him don't get along so well, but they can be civil enough to sit at the same table.
All right.
So we went and had dinner and talked, and everything was going well. No argument, nothing till after my wife went to use the bathroom. Later, my brother went to use the bathroom and came back looking pissed. He kept giving me and my wife sideways looks, but I didn't know what was going on till he pulled me aside before we left and told me that my wife had left her used pad in his bathroom trash. I was shocked and wait, come on now, let's finish it up. I was shocked and didn't know what to say because this felt highly inappropriate. He said he didn't appreciate what my wife did and that it was a sign of disrespect toward him. I apologized profoundly and said I didn't know about it. He asked me to speak to her or she wouldn't be welcome at his place anymore. So when we got in the car, I asked my wife about it. And she nonchalantly said there was nothing wrong with what she did and that my brother was being ridiculous. I kind of flipped on her and told her it was very inappropriate to leave her used pad in the bin at his place, even if it wasn't the bathroom and in the trash can, because it made him uncomfortable. She yelled back, asking what was she supposed to do. I told her she could have took it with her and threw it outside, not in the bathroom. That's my brother's place, and he told me how he felt about it. She yelled again, calling my brother an incel. I don't understand that, but fuck it. These are the young people.
Involuntarily celibate.
Oh, okay. Well, fuck that. And called me an asshole for, quote, getting in her face about it. She said she needed to use the bathroom, and it's not like the pad was dropped in the sink or on the floor. She dumped it in the trash can. At home, we still argued about it, and she kept on calling me and my brother names. She currently is not speaking to me and is avoiding me entirely. Regardless, I feel like it's his place, and he gets to express what makes him uncomfortable inside it. I can't give info or expand on what was seen, but I can tell you that the trash can does not have a lid. It's not like one of those trash cans that have a lid on top and you can push it or whatever. What I want to emphasize is on the fact that as guests, we should take respect of people's homes and not argue about what makes them uncomfortable. He said it made him uncomfortable, and that should, in my opinion, be acknowledged. Lynch, is he the asshole?
I would freak out if somebody put a tampon in the trash.
I did that last week.
Well, tampons don't go in the trash. They get flushed down the toilet.
This is a pad. You can't flush a big ass thing.
And I have questions. because
it's Lynch's turn. Let's
no.
see.
I'm just saying I have questions. Go ahead.
Keep them. I can't wait because you're gonna be fired up.
No, he's not the asshole. I would freak the fuck out on her. That's
Okay.
just disgusting. That's disgusting. Like I wouldn't take a shit in anybody's bathroom and not flush it. It's to me, it's the same
That's
thing.
a good point.
Well,
It's or leaving the nasty, shitty paper in the toilet with shit side up, just kind of floating there, staring at you. It's the same thing to me.
All right.
That's just gross. Wrap it up.
Right.
Wrap it up. Put it.
Hold
deep
on,
in the
Stemmy.
trash.
Hold on, girl. I'm listening.
That's about all I got on that.
All right, Sammy, answer me a question. When you go to the bathroom and you change your pad, and you open it up, isn't pretty much every girl isn't it the unknown thing that when you take the new pad out and then you take the old pad off and you roll it up in a plastic pouch that the new pad came in, and because usually it's got another sticky and it rolls in and it sells sticks, am I right? And then you toss that in the garbage and it's a little tiny thing. I got to be honest, every girl on the planet knows this. I don't know a girl on the planet that is brazen and bold enough to go in there, whip out half a bed sheet with blood on it and lay it flat on top of the toilet. I don't know a woman that is so indiscreet as such. I gotta be honest. I think the brother's fucking overreacting because he's single. But as all of you know, you've lived with women. Every woman on the planet pretty much does that. Lynch, go in there. I mean, if you know what I mean.
Don't they have little pouches that they
That's what
put
I'm
them
saying.
in?
You pull it out, and the pad comes out, and you set it down on your leg. I mean, girls are sitting on the toilet, so you have to work with what you got. You got legs. That's your lap. You set the old one on one leg, you reach in, you take the old one out, you do your thing, you stuff it in the bag, you throw it in the trash. Now, in a public bathroom, they have a separate bin for such things.
They do.
All right. They do it, but that's health code in an establishment. At home, they use the trash. And because they use the trash, that's why they've designed these little plastic envelopes to stick the old one in, because they've built in discretion into the product.
I cannot help, but right now it's in my head. I have to sing it out loud. You put the new one in, you take the old one out,
you fold it in the envelope, and then you throw it out. Yeah.
I like your ending better.
That's so gross.
We're going to hell.
But you know what I mean? Like, yeah, all right. If she whipped that puppy out and laid it out like an American flag, yeah, all right, we got a problem. But if she was like her, you can hate us all. It's all right. Yeah. We're the three that you love to hate. Mwah.
We're the ones your mom warned you about.
That's right. And yet
so
you
gross.
come back every week. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it is gross. And unfortunately for us, it's well, I mean, you know, y'all like pussy. It's one of the conditions of having one around.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Exactly. I'm going with the brother. The brother's an asshole. The woman's the asshole. The dude who said, you know, you shouldn't have done this, not the asshole.
I'll agree with that.
The husband's right.
I'll agree with that.
The husband's right. Do we have time for one more?
Yeah, we're at an hour and 18, hour and 20 right now. Yeah.
This is Herm. It's your turn, and this is right up your alley. I can see you do. I pre-read this because the title got me, and I was like, "Oh, this is a Herm thing. This is easily going to be your favorite." And we'll close it out after that. We're going to do this again next month because this is too much fun. See, you all hate periods till a girl misses one. Nah, shit happens.
I had to snip. If the girl misses one, it's not
your fault. That's right. All right. Herm, are you ready?
I am. Are you ready?
Yes. Lynch, put your listening ears on. You are going to love this. All right. My fiance and I are getting married. We've decided that the wedding is going to be child-free. No hate towards children, but it's just to keep it more organized and contained. My brother Chris and his wife have a 3-year-old son that everyone calls the miracle or the rainbow baby. He came after several failed pregnancies that lasted for years. When they found out that my nephew was not included And as part of the no children rule, they tried to convince me to make an exception. Chris told me his son is a miracle baby and his presence at the wedding will bring blessings for me and my fiance. I refused and said no. The wedding is child-free. His wife kept sending my fiance pics of my nephew when he was months old. Why did she do this? I don't know. I told them no and to please stop. My brother told me this might cause a rift in our relationship. I again said no and expanded on the point that the wedding is child-free. He asked again, and I pointed out, how is his baby different since he's a rainbow or miracle baby? Stop it. Right. Wait for it, Herm, because it's coming. This is a Herm move.
I've read this one before. Go.
Okay, he asked again, and I pointed out, how is his baby different since he's a rainbow or a miracle baby? I again said no and explained that the wedding is child-free. I got to rub my eyes, something in it. Here we go.
Yeah, your finger.
They brought it up when they visited our home recently, and I knew they weren't going to stop. So I made flashcards in advance with the phrase, the wedding is child-free, period, and pulled them out and started slowly showing the flashcards one by one in this order. The wedding with a sticker of a bride and a groom. Is child with a sticker of a baby. Free with the circle and the slash sign. And period with a huge black dot. They were both stunned. I asked if they get it now, and Chris lost his shit. His wife had already grabbed her stuff and walked out. Chris called me an asshole for doing this and said I disrespected him, his wife, and their son, who is my one and only nephew. He rushed out after we argued. My fiance saw the whole thing and thought that it was funny, but my parents and Chris are beyond livid at this time. They're telling everyone about the amount of disrespect and mockery I had displayed toward them, and I'm being told to, and I quote, fix it now. And is this person, the female who had to make the flashcards, is she the asshole?
No. But the husband's backing it up, right?
Yes, he is, 1,000%. He said it was funny.
Nope. Then it's their decision. They're getting married. It's their wedding.
That's right.
The miracle child can fuck off.
That's right. Lynch.
Fuck off.
I agree with that. You know, child free. I can understand why a child free wedding. We only had 2 at all.
I'd have bought yard signs and put them in.
Like going down the street, so as you approach the house, the
wedding is child free.
That's like you go to a place that says no dogs allowed. Well, my dog, no dogs allowed. Is that a service animal? No, it's just my little Fluffy. Get Fluffy the fuck back in the car.
See, that doesn't matter here. People just walk into the.
I know, and I get that.
It's
and they
really
do it here
awesome.
too.
It's cool. It's awesome.
I don't think it's a bad thing, but if you own a business and you say no dogs, no fucking dogs.
If that's your rule, that's your rule. Okay,
that's right.
That's all there is to it. But yeah, no, she's not an asshole at all. Nope, no. As a person, I had a child-free wedding. It was lovely.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have my own kids there.
Lynch.
He was in the wedding,
Yes.
and then I sent him away.
There you go.
Yeah.
Lynch, you without children, however, you who had a wedding that I was not invited to, you cocksucker. Did you have kids at your wedding, or was it child-free?
We only had 2.
Okay.
2 kids. The flower girl and my nephew, who was only a year old at the time.
I think at my wedding there was 2 kids. They were both under 2 years old, and it was fine. You know, when they do that dollar dance for the bride and groom, the first person in line is starting to walk up, and my aunt-in-law, I guess you'd call her, Kim, wonderful human being, comes running up with my niece Cammie and a burp towel, put $20 in the thing, and my first dollar dance was with my 1-year-old niece, and she's 15, almost 16 now. She loves that story. She thinks it's the greatest thing ever.
Nice.
I don't think she's the asshole at all. I think I'm going to give her a tip of the hat, asshole, for the flashcards. That was a brilliant fucking move. If you can't understand,
she's not an asshole, but that was a great asshole move.
Exactly.
In return, if you didn't. Yes, you've
been told
we all appreciate that.
17,196 times child-free wedding. You keep bringing it up. Thank you.
At the wedding.
You know, I don't have the time or the crayons to explain this to you any further. I'm going to make you some flashcards. Hopefully you'll get it. That's that. Sammy
Pretty
says, I've never
much.
been married, but regardless, if someone's hosting an event of any kind, it's their event, their decisions. The end. Thank you.
Right. I mean,
No.
like, there's look, my roaster is pretty much an adult only event, and everybody is informed that adult things happen there. Okay.
Right.
Chris
So-
might start a fire.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, your children could see some illicit shit.
Sophia,
Now,
get away
if you're-
from the fire.
Right. Jesus. And bring me a beer. So you could see some illicit shit at a party. Just letting you know, not judging if you don't do that, but if you want to bring your kids, just be aware of what they could see. No,
this
that's
isn't Disney on Ice.
yeah, no. That's not
And we
baking
lost
soda on
Lynch.
that table.
No,
Where'd he go?
I don't know. Maybe he's getting the flashcards to explain to
Maybe.
us how dumb we are.
Maybe.
Oh, I thought, and when I read that one, I was like, I'm saving that. That's got to be a Herm one. I'm glad we had time to get that one in because I
That was
pictured in
beautiful.
my head you, and I know your son has a girlfriend. I don't know if she has kids. They're like, well, how come my girlfriend's kid can't come to the wedding?
Because
It is child free.
for
And then
real.
a picture of a spread butt, so he sees the asshole. It's child free, asshole. That was the most Herm thing I read in all of them.
It's a great story. It really is, because like they just don't get it.
Mhm.
And I'm turned off immediately. It's the miracle, baby.
Oh Christ! I
Oh,
get it.
Christ.
Look, if you've had, rough pregnancies, and we know, one of our good friends, his wife had a rough pregnancy and lost a baby, and it's a terrible thing. But you bounce back, you get over it. Yes, the hurt's still there, but child free is
you're right.
child free. Fuck
Right,
off. There's
right.
there's no making an exception because you happen to finally have a kid. Hooray! Good for you. We're very proud. We love the child, but no,
But
we're
it's not
playing this.
invited.
No. What is a baby?
I don't know. It's like because
While we wait for Lynch, I got to tell you this fantastic story that happened to me the other day. Actually, Sammy Miner's already heard this story. So, Sammy, tune out if you like, or stay with us, whatever you want. I was talking to a young lady from one of these stores that I deal with. And again, her and I have different views on abortion. Oh, look, it's El Falcone. Look at that sexy motherfucker. That is the best luchador you never heard of until today. Wow. Can I tell a story without El Falcone?
Yes.
Okay. Someday I'll bring El Falcone to the show. So she and I both have different opinions on abortion. That's fine. You've heard mine. All of you have heard mine. I like to think I'm pro-life, but I think there's reasons and different things. I'm not going to go over them all here. So she overheard me talking to another one of my colleagues about the whole transgender issue. Nothing bad. Much like we've said here, you want to live your life a certain way, live your life a certain way. Do your thing. Now, this young lady decided to chime in and say, well, studies show. Here he comes. What the fuck computer is back in the house?
I don't know what the hell my computer decided to take a shit on me.
Well, stick around. And somebody's going to take a shit on me for the end of this story. So she says, some studies show that babies in the womb can tell if they're transgender. Thank you for opening the door, because here comes Chris. I said, okay, wait a minute. So if I know somebody who's pregnant and that baby knows that they're transgender in the womb and she decides to have an abortion, is that now a hate crime? And she stopped, just like Herm's face. She stopped dead. Well, what you're telling me right now is that this baby is a sentient being. It has thought. It feels pain. It has feelings.
Am I twitching?
It is just a little bit. Are you? I think I'm stroking out just a little bit. The left side of my face is. I'm gonna look like Jim Ross by the end of my God, I'm a witness. He's been broken in half.
Okay. All right.
And I asked her. I said, you can't have it both ways. Either it's a clump of cells like you've been telling me forever and an hour, or that baby's a sentient being with thought and feelings and knows it's transgender before it's born. Which is it? Well, I don't think you deserve an answer. That's because you can't give one. Get out of my fucking face.
Well, I
Not
love it.
having.
I
Yeah.
love.
You're freezing up on us bad,
You
brother.
don't deserve-
Yeah, he is.
That's-
Ooh, his voice got all deep.
All right. Lynch is frozen out.
Yes,
You're
he
frozen
is.
out. So, Herm, what do you think?
Well, you can't have it both ways.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Lynch
You
is
just-
back, I think.
You can't have. Yes, he is. You can't have it both ways. First of all, no, the baby doesn't know if it's transgendered. Okay.
But studies show.
Studies show and there's studies that you ran on the read off the back of a cereal box.
Mm-hmm.
Studies who's really, so they've talked to the embryos, and the embryos have vocalized.
Well, no, wouldn't it be
their
fetal at
thoughts.
this point?
That's
Because
what
now
I'm saying. Yeah. So. Oh, my bad. Wrong terminology. I assume it's stayed in the game. I did. Did I assume your stage of life? My bad. All right. So they've talked to the fetuses, the feti, and all of the conglomerate of fetuses have all said and returned speech with thought that they feel that they're misgendered already.
they sent smoke
All
signals
right,
out of mom's
so I
hoo-ha.
was just gonna say, so wait a minute. So you've literally got a nub, all right, which basically is the sex nub on a baby, and it either is it's the same little nub on a male or a female, and all it does is either stays a little tiny nub and is the clitoris, or the nub grows, then it becomes a penis. So you've talked to the fetuses before they've actually been sexed themselves. They've actually produced a sex organ, and they've already determined that whatever one they're getting is going to be wrong.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
And
I'm gonna
remember
have
how
to
long
see
it
your
took you
study.
to teach your kids how to speak? And these fetuses
These people
already
just
know.
went right in and they went.
Oh. Okay, two things.
Speaking of nubs.
Sammy says, how can you know if you're transgender if you don't even know what or anyone or anything is yet? Good call. I never told you guys about Hunter's delivery. Wait, Hunter. Ow, fucker. Anywho, I want to know more about Hunter had the baby? Yo, you got to turn that off.
What is?
Lynch is taking us into the Twilight Zone, and I didn't buy a ticket.
Yes, he is.
And we're going through the Twilight Zone.
All right, we're good. All right, we're good.
Oh, all right. Anyway, no, you cannot know you're transgender in the womb. No, you are not assigned a sex at birth. You were assigned two things, a name and a social security number. That's it.
That's it.
By the way, they make that decision about genitalia. Get the key word there, genitalia. They tell what gender you are. All of this is in your head. Live the way you want to live. Don't care. Doesn't hurt me. Doesn't make me any money or take money away from me. That's all I care about. But stop it. Stop it trying to make fetch happen. You're not going to tell me that a baby in the womb knows, well, I'm looking at this little pecker down here. Oh, wait, I got to be sitting upside
Whoa.
down.
Whoa! What's
Yeah.
that extra hand down there? Isn't supposed to be there.
She keeps grabbing at me.
Why am I growing
Right.
an extra hand?
So I know how long it took to get my daughter to speak. I've been around your son and Herm and your oldest son, I should say, and I know how long it took him to get to speak.
Yeah,
I
like
mean,
last week.
I was going to say it's about a month ago, but at least in full sentences.
But
He ain't stopped
grunting and
yet.
pointing has been working for 20 some years now.
I'm glad.
It's
I'm
very
glad to
good.
hear. I'm glad to hear the flashcards worked out for you. But stop it. Stop trying to make fetch happen. Stop trying to get everybody on board with the transgender thing. None of us are afraid of it. None of us. We understand where words come from and words have meaning. So stop it. I guess Sammy's going to tell us about Hunter. Oh, when she had Hunter. Never mind. That's another show for another time.
Wait, she's going to
Right.
show boobs?
Oh yeah, I did see it. Another show boobs. Well, it's a family show. Unless we go to the Golden Banana again.
Yeah, well, no, technically I marked this as explicit, so we could see titties. It's all right. I'm just saying.
Whoa.
Sammy's
Graphic.
Sammy's whipping the puppies out next week. Oh, maybe we got a maybe. Ooh.
Herm, what
Don't
was
be surprised if you get sent a link to the show next week. Just saying.
Herm,
Where's
what
something
was
pretty?
what was the line before? It was Beavis and Butthead, and Beavis said something, and Butthead said, "Yeah." And I would like to ask them, about going into the girls' locker room and being an investigative reporter. He's like, "Yeah," and find out how they'd like to please Big Daddy Butthead.
Big Daddy Butthead.
Oh.
Oh my god! You don't want to score. Oh, that's how I felt during the fourth quarter of the Michigan-Ohio State game. You don't want to score? How about not scoring with this? And beating Derek's TV with a rock.
Uh-huh.
And then Derek made a joke. He goes, "Chris, I don't have a TV anymore. Why not?" Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
All right.
That's why.
All right. So Sammy says she's in. She's got to be
She's
here.
in.
We'll put her on. We'll have a good time. And
Absolutely.
programming note for all of you loyal dysfunctionals, we will have a show next week. The following Monday, I will be on a plane. So no show on the 12th of December. We will return on the 19th.
All right.
Even on a jet plane.
But I do know when I'll be back again, unfortunately.
Ooh,
Yeah.
nice.
If I didn't come back, you'd see me in the news with the headline, "A Florida Man."
Ooh.
I could be Florida. Oh, you know what? I lived down there for a year. I almost did some stupid shit, but I'm not going. It's a good place to visit. I don't want to live there.
Florida man, naked, running down the street with a machete in his hand.
Guys, I don't know who has the information that can share with either one of you two. It's Peacock. It's tomorrow night. It's the Casey Anthony documentary. Don't forget to watch it. I'd love to discuss it a little bit next week. It's her first on-camera interview since what happened with her daughter. Found innocent, but I don't think. Oh, found not guilty, but I don't think she's innocent by a long shot.
Oh hell no, not at all.
Nope.
Bitch did it.
She's probably less guilty than OJ, but she's still got something to do with this.
Oh God, yeah. I mean,
and I'll never forget. And because I mentioned it early in the show when you had to get up for something, I was talking to my good friend Chad Hatfield earlier today for a very long time. And I reminded him when I saw the ad, I'm like, your girl's going to be on TV. Who's that? I'm like, Casey Anthony. He goes, man, she is still hot, isn't she? I'm like, dude. He's not wrong. He's not wrong. I lived in Florida when this was going on, the search for Kaylee Anthony, and then they found her like a couple days after my birthday. And, it was all over Florida. Then it became huge national news. But that was, Chad came down about a month later, and it was on the news again. They're preparing her for trial, or they're doing this. And he just looked at the TV and goes, I'd throw it in her. That's a little sick, but all right, Chad, you do you.
Yeah, I could.
Or you
I could. Yeah. Anyway,
only one of us.
How about that?
Oh yeah, we'll talk about Alyssa Milano. How dumb is that cunt?
About as dumb as the day is long.
So if you guys haven't heard about this, go ahead, please.
So she decided to post on Twitter that she turned in her Tesla and bought a Volkswagen EV, electric vehicle. She can't support the hate and whatever the fuck she said about
the white supremacy.
And the best thing ever happened. The comment
the Hodge twins love these guys. The Hodge twins.
The Hodge twins said, "You do realize that VW was started by Nazis and Hitler, right?" To Elon Musk reply of a smiling, cracking up, laughing, 100%. It warmed the cockles of my heart.
Oh, it kind of got me in the subcockle region. It was hilarious.
The subcockles.
That's right.
Oh.
I was very impressed by the Hodge twins and Elon Musk for the way they handled it.
I think it was classy. I thought it was classy.
It goes to show you that woke is a joke. Because they'll speak on anything they don't like. You're a Nazi. You're a racist. You're a bigot. You're this. but you're going to shit on me for simply being white, or because I hold some conservative views, or I sit over here and I think this, or I sit over here and I think this. What happened to tolerant and inclusive?
I was watching the other night on the YouTubes, of course. I don't remember who it was, but he was talking to a college student, and the college student was trashing the police and telling, they're tyrants and this, that, and the other thing. We need to defund the police. And he mentions that he got arrested. So the guy holding the mic says, "Well, what'd you get arrested for?" Well, I sat
Say
down,
it, Mike. Say it. What'd he do?
What'd he do?
I sat down in the street, and the guy holding the mic says, "Well, you do realize that is against the law,
Mm-hmm.
and it can get you arrested." And literally, the guy just stood there. I could hear his brain melting. And he just said, "I got nothing else. I gotta go."
Yeah, right.
Like the girl man person in What Is a Woman, where he's standing there, what is a woman? I don't know. Well, are you a cat? No. Can you tell me what a cat is? And she just walks away. That was a mistake, and I shouldn't have been here.
I shouldn't have been here.
Whatever.
I agree. You should not.
There's no, if you can't define something, you can't be something. Years ago, Lynch, I think you were the first person to comment on it when I shared it 4 or 5 years ago. The young lady, I can only assume, at one of Ben Shapiro's appearances, talking about why can't girls be allowed in the Boy Scouts? And he says, because it's in the name, Boy Scouts. It's a group. It's a focus group. Much like, I can't be in the 60 and over granny knitting club because I'm not 60 or over, nor am I a granny, depending on how I identify today.
You can't join AARP at 30 years old.
No, but
Yes,
you can
actually.
You can at 50.
You can join AARP at any age. They prefer you're 50 or older because it's good for their numbers, but you can actually join anytime. And let me tell you, they got great rates on airfare and travel and hotels, bro.
Remind me to tell you guys off air about the letter I got in the mail the other day.
I am joining. So
I joined just for this fucking move. I joined just for trips and gas and shit. It worked great.
So the question he had for her, he says, I know it's not polite to ask someone how old they are, but you're a young person. You go to college. How old are you? She says, I'm 23. And he looks her dead in the eye and goes, why aren't you 60?
Why aren't you 60? Yep.
And she gives him a strange look, says, well, if you can say you're this or you're that, why can't you identify as being 60? Then I would have to accept it. That's what you want, is acceptance. You don't want reality. You want acceptance.
Right.
And going toward
whatever it is that you believe.
Right. And because I do go to therapy and I read a lot of the pamphlets that are there. And one of them is now talking about gender affirming psychiatry. Yeah. Psychiatry is not there to affirm what you believe, because then I'd be in there every Tuesday night. I get my days mixed up. Wednesday's the Speedway review. Check us out this week. We got Shane Meal. That accent was horrendous. I'll share the video with you guys. If I went in every Tuesday night and just said some really stupid stuff, that psychiatrist would say, your dad's an asshole, your mom's an asshole, Herm's an asshole, Lynch is an asshole, everybody you know is an asshole, and you're perfect. That's called being like a grandmother. That's not being a psychiatrist. My grandfather told me until the day he died I was the most perfect human being on earth, and I almost believed him.
Yeah.
That's not the job of a psychiatrist.
No, the job of a psychiatrist is to help you.
Yep, get you to identify you and move forward.
Right. And
it's all about developing a relationship, but allowing you to feel comfortable to speak and analyze yourself in a safe place. It's not about it's not about affirming shit.
No, and I don't prescribe to that bullshit. I go to a therapist as well, and we talk about what's wrong with me, and how I fix me and what I need to worry about. You know what I mean? I don't need to be affirmed who I am. I already know who I am. I'm broken, and I want to fix myself. So that's what we work on. There's no affirmation needed for me to know that I'm a work in progress. I always will be a work in progress.
Yeah, that's some of the beauty of the 12-step program that I'm sure you're still doing at this moment in time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But the 13th step really is the most important. And it reads as follows. And Herm, chime in anytime you want. Made a list of all the
With
people,
all persons that
real
who
or
had-
imaginary,
who had harmed us and
and
swore,
swore
to get even.
Yep. Damn straight.
There was nothing better than breaking that out at an Alateen meeting and watching the sponsors just go, "Ah!" Did he just say that?
Right.
Yes,
He
he did.
just say that.
Stick around. Wait till we do the prayer. Your father,
That's right.
Who farts in
Those
heaven?
before-
No, your father.
before I found religion, and again, I'm not an overly zealous religious person, as you both know, but it was the funniest shit listening to Herm loud and proud. Your father, who art in heaven.
Oh, yes. Yes. very
Yes.
well.
It is
Rabble
what it
route.
is.
Rabble rousers since the day we were born.
Yes.
Well,
Yeah.
since I got that letter in the mail, I may as well tell you guys about it. I got Welcome to the 50 Club. AARP wants you to join.
Oh, nice.
And we'll give you this cool trunk organizer gimmick that my grandmother had.
Yeah.
And I'm not
Or the
liking it.
or the USB hub.
Oh, I didn't get that one.
I got that or a USB hub, and I took the USB hub because I use
Oh.
it for the show.
I can see why. Maybe I could use a trunk organizer. I don't know. What I do know is I'm okay with 50. That's coming up real soon. What I'm not okay with is the thought that because I'm turning 50, I am eligible for AARP. You, AARP, are the other asshole of the week, and you, sirs or ma'ams, may fuck off.
See, that's the club, baby. It's great discounts on travel. That's all I'm going to say.
I'd
Great
rather belong.
discounts
I'd rather
on
belong
travel.
to AAA than the AARP.
AAA doesn't work as well as AARP. You're old.
There's only one group I don't want to join, and that's the KKK. So I'm gonna say it right now.
No, we're not doing that one.
Absolutely not.
I'm not okay with the KKK.
Neither am I.
They're assholes.
Right.
Yes.
And they're
All right,
scumbags.
so like next week we'll be back, and maybe we're gonna have Sammy on.
Maybe we will. Maybe we won't. But we'll find a topic.
She
And
said
we're gonna-
she's in, so we'll
We're
see.
gonna ambush her with a topic.
Oh, we'll hit her with something.
What in the fuck is
Oh,
that?
I don't know. Is that your crotch?
Oops.
I got
Thank you,
nothing.
Matt.
I got nothing. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, we are out.
Peace out, ladies and gentlemen.